Hey, good morning, everybody. What an exciting morning it is as we approach the 48-hour timeline in which a second stimulus deal is expected to be announced. Yes, Nancy Pelosi, Steve Mnuchin, the White House, all the parties involved, with the exception of Mitch, of course, not involved, are now indicating that a second stimulus deal will be announced in the next 48 hours. Now, this is not a law. This is not a check in your hand. But ultimately, will the Purple Power accept this or should we reject it? And what could happen thereafter? Really exciting, great news as we start a new morning. And this is the first half of the hour for Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you're good and safe. Thank you for tuning in for our new, really blockbuster programming segment on this channel, Early Mornings LALATE, now becoming almost the most watched show on this channel. I really appreciate you for tuning in. The first half show of the 1 hour programming block. Coming up after this is another show at the bottom of the hour at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to the front of this channel and subscribe because, wow, overnight we reached 300,000 subscribers. It's really an incredible achievement. If you've not told your friends and families to subscribe to this channel, please do. Also, like this video. If you're new to joining Early Mornings LALATE, it is an enhanced viewing experience. With this video, you'll be watching it as a live premiere. So if you look to the right, there is a live chat. And in that live chat, you can live chat and super chat with your Purple Power buddies and interact with one another while watching this video as the first viewers of this video. Every day, it's a live interaction for the video. The next video after this at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time will feature the same incredible function as well. In this video, I have a lot coming up today. First, I'll be going over what happened yesterday. Second, I'll be going over what you should expect today. And third, I'll be going over all the elements and what you should be asking for and demanding for as we head into the weekend. Okay, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that the situation has really changed dramatically in all of 24 hours. But because it still has changed, it doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. Where are we? What are the numbers? And what are we looking at? Let's go over them. First, Mitch McConnell's bill or bills, whether there was one on Tuesday or one on Wednesday, are all dead. So Mitch's attempt to take your stimulus by executive order or to do something counterintuitive or to do something against the president is no longer a concern, at least for a bill. But it may still be a concern for something else. That coming up in a moment, and it's a big issue. Next, Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin and the White House all indicate that a deal will be announced potentially in the next 24 to 48 hours. Why are they now saying this, and why should we believe them? For a bunch of people who've used that line before, needless to say, in the months that we've been sitting around, well, a lot of things have changed. First of all, they now confirm that they have agreements on virtually all major deal points, with the exception of perhaps state and local. Yeah, state and local again. Second, a lot of people are involved in the bill now. Now you have congressional leaders in both the House and the Senate working on the language and dealing with the language. And of course, that has caused a lot of jokes, some very good in the comments to this video and this channel. One viewer said yesterday that Nancy Pelosi is working on the language. I have some language to give Nancy Pelosi, said one viewer. Another viewer said, oh, of course they're all working on the language of the bill, all these congressmen, so they can take credit for doing nothing at the 11th hour. Needless to say, everyone has a really good opinion about the situation. But one of the real twists of surprises is that Mitch McConnell's team is working on the language for the Senate, so that ultimately when the bill appears in the Senate, it would remain the language that it is currently. Interesting. Mitch McConnell has not confirmed that he's doing this, but Mark Meadows says that he is. Third, what are the deal terms? Why should we be excited about the deal terms, or are we not excited about the deal terms? If you watched Purple Power last night and have not, go to the links above. It's in the links from last night. It is a video that you really need to watch, because ultimately I'm going to do something that no one else is going to do for you. I'm going to tell you, hey, I'm not going to read just verbatim Fox News said deal overnight, or CNBC says deal coming. I'm going to say to you, hey, a deal's going to be coming, and get ready, because I have a feeling the deal provisions won't be to your liking and won't be to my liking. And ultimately, Purple Power has a say. Purple Power has a push. Purple Power is heard. And that is why I want you to mobilize and get ready, because one, the stimulus check provision may not be good. Two, the hazard pay provision may not be good, or even may not even be in there. Three, the FPUC provision may not be good. What do I think the provisions are going to look like? This is my opinion, this is my prediction, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm totally wrong. First, the stimulus checks. Is it one or is it two? Is it 50 or is it what? By all accounts, it looks like it may be one. Yes, that's the first thing. Not we can just sort of make a list. Not good. Okay, taking care. We gotta take care of that. Also not good. I take care. I'm just not gonna do that because I'll never get through this video. I'm just gonna go through everything, and you just make your little list, because I already have my list of what's not good that I'm expecting. One, stimulus check. Second, the amount of stimulus check is not going to be good. I just sense it's not going to be good. The last deal offered from Steve Mnuchin is $1,200 for adults, $1,000 for children. It was in his news statement. Someone said, where do you see this? Where do you get this from? It's in his press release. Go read his press release. Mark Meadows' statement overnight, not overnight today, overnight the day before, said that we are now offering additional money for stimulus checks. I mean, this is good to start a Thursday morning, but what's also better to start a Thursday morning is to know the amount. No one's telling us the amount. So by all accounts, it could be $2,000, it could be $2,200, or it could be $1,200 again. Needless to say, I'm going to be demanding more, and on behalf of the Purple Power, if you wish to demand more, let's join in the effort, because ultimately, if you're given one $2,000 stimulus check, if that's what happens, for 6 months, that's a friggin' joke. I mean, come off of it. Where is that logical? Next, FPUC. There appears to be a deal on FPUC, but how much will the FPUC amount be, and will the deal provisions be okay? I have a feeling that the deal provision for retroactiveness will not be okay. By all accounts, Nancy Pelosi's last offer for FPUC was retroactive to early September, and Steve Mnuchin's was offered back to mid-September. The net result of that is that will cost you upwards of about $2,400. They're not going to give you FPUC for the entire month of August, as though August just doesn't exist. There was a month of August. Oh, no, I don't know of the month of August. What is that? I've never heard of August. They're not going to pay you anything for FPUC for the month of August. Well, that makes no sense. FPUC expired in July, and it expired when they were on vacation. They promised to take care of it before they went on vacation. They promised to take care of it after vacation, and guess what? I have a feeling they're not going to take care of the fact that it expired in July, and they're just going to pick it up, some place later in time. Not sufficient. The dollar amount of FPUC, it may come in at $600, but ultimately, if you run the math, don't have Larry Kudlow do it for you. If you run the math, you'll see that holding out even for $600 a week, which may happen, may still not pay you as much money had you actually gotten paid the month of August. Next, how long will the provision go? It'll likely go into mid-January. Then there's going to be other deal provisions that I have a feeling are not going to be good. EIDL grant. I have a feeling it's not going to be correct. The language of EIDL grant is summarily why I'm here today, because I did video after video where Javita Carranza said, I'm going to digress from the language, and I'm going to do what I want to do, and I don't care what the language says. Well, there needs to be a provision in EIDL that says SBA may not digress from our language. And if they don't have that provision in there, then guess what? If there's another EIDL grant, Javita's not going to pay for it. Next, EIDL loans. There needs to be a no cap on the EIDL loan. And finally, hazard pay. How about hazard pay? Nancy took it out, and she acted like she never took it out. Well, if it's out, and I have all my essential workers, all my frontline workers, all my Uber and Lyft or rideshare drivers, all my nurses and doctors, all my truck drivers, all my grocery workers, and all my other frontline workers, you deserve a hazard pay. Get yourself mobilized, get ready, because Purple Power is going to make a very loud push. Now, let's get to that push. Now that we focus on what could happen in 48 hours, what then is then happening? What then happens after 48 hours? Well, that is really the million-dollar question. Nancy Pelosi and the White House simply have no idea. There's a lot of things involved, and in the next video after this, I'm going to go over really why I think, in my opinion, that both the White House and Nancy Pelosi will not push this to a vote. That ultimately they'll just say, I have a deal, but we're going to get to it after the election. What you're going to see, I will tell you right now, is in the next 24 hours or throughout this Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon, you will see a lot of news reports that say it's too late to call a vote. It's not too late to call a vote. Reality check, it is not too late to call a vote and get this to law. It's whether these people are going to really do that. But what I want you to understand at the 10-minute mark, I still have a lot more coming up, so stay with me, is that ultimately what's important to understand is that the moment we see a deal announced, if it is announced within 48 hours, then I want you to get ready to mobilize, because we're going to say, hey, if you are going to put this to a vote, we're not approving this. If you aren't putting it to this a vote and you're holding off on a few weeks, then get ready, because when you do, we're going to have already said this for 3 weeks. This is no good. That's what Purple Power does. It vocalizes the sentiments of Americans, because we don't have a lobbyist. There is no lobbyist in Washington. We're paying $25,000 a day to go say it. Hey, I represent the American people. They deserve a bigger stimulus check. Who are you? I'm I don't know you. So hence we have this. Hence, we have social media. Hence, we have this platform. And with this platform, we're going to make very clear that we're not going to accept a $1,200 stimulus check. We're not going to do the YouTube thumbnail dance and say, oh, congratulations, check coming tomorrow. Congratulations, $1,200 for 6 months of waiting during the pandemic. No. How much baking and coffee brewing and toasting and buttering can you buy for $1,200 for 6 months? Not a lot. It's truly crazy. I mean, it really is sort of crazy to even say it. What you have to understand is that tonight is the presidential debate, and ultimately the president needs to say something, and he needs to say it soon. And in this video, what I want to go over still coming up is why the president needs to do executive orders. I did not detail executive orders as much as I would have liked to have detailed them in yesterday's recordings, because there was so much going on. And what I want to stay on message with is executive orders for MSCs, multiple stimulus checks. Executive orders for MSCs, which can be done down to the day before election night. Now, ultimately, the earlier the president does executive order, with 28 million Americans voting by mail already 14 days before the election, he doesn't want to wait to the last second to do executive orders. Do them sooner than later. What I need to help you understand is, one, the fact that you may not get the check until after the election is not a concern. The concern now is getting the executive order announced before the election, because it works in your favor, it works in his favor, and it works in everyone's favor except Nancy Pelosi. What's important to understand is, one, the president has the money, $800 billion of unused CARES Act 1 and CARES Act 3 money that he can repurpose for the purpose of stimulus checks, 2 rounds and a round of FPUC. Second, he can do it. He has done it with LWA, with FEMA money. He repurposed FEMA money, national disaster relief money for unemployment. He can do it for stimulus checks and FPUC. He's done it before. Third, if he did it today and wrote it and held up that executive order in the Oval Office with a pen and paper, you would get the checks 10 days today. Guess what? It's more than 10 days from election night. Still, the vast majority of people will vote in a polling booth on election day. So get the stimulus check out now. Third, I really do think that the messaging that the messaging of what could happen the next 48 hours to 72 hours about Nancy and Steve, and that we have a deal, and that Mitch is not making it vote, but we'll vote on it after the election. We'll vote on it. I just think people are going to get exhausted and say, where is the deal? Actually, where's the law? This is a lot of talk, and it's the same talk we've heard for months. And basically, the purple power, the viewers of this channel have already said that it does not win anyone over to say, hey, we've agreed to some numbers. You've been agreeing to numbers for 6 months. Where's the law? Where's the law? Until there's a law, we're not going to consider it much of anything. And hence seats for stimulus. That's the last major push that I want to make very clear today, is not only you does Purple Power need to make a push for executive orders, MSCs, but also seats for stimulus, because ultimately, as that one viewer said, congressional leaders are really trying to make themselves look like they're working a lot. I'm working a lot the last few days of the election. Look at me working to get your stimulus. No, you're not doing anything. You're sitting back and changing and or and the number 6 to a 9. And there's, I worked a lot. Do I see a lot? No. When do I see a lot? Well, I don't really know. It's just, okay, you haven't really worked a lot. And what they're trying to do is get your votes by looking like they're working. Guess what? Seats for stimulus. And this time the message is clear. You didn't give us a law. You gave us a lot of hot air. You gave us a lot of promises of a law. Where's the law? Seats for stimulus. We're voting you out. This is why we remain focused and why we remain part of this community. Let me go to some incredible questions and comments from last recording yesterday morning. Marlene, it's about the time that you're all thinking about sending the stimulus checks right now. Philip, they won't give more to every individual. They just raise dependents and children. Denise, we're all going to sue the government. Royale, really praying that humanity will show up for Americans. Cassandra, Mitch is the holdup. Melody, I forgot. I'm going to catch Mitch on the next recording. There's so much to do covered this morning. Melody, I swear Pelosi says there's a deadline, and that deadline, why? Oh, the deadline's gone. These people, these politicians, they just have a story about everything. Penny, my question has always been, I'm not a doctor, no medical field. I've been sick, my children have. I've always been informed a virus, no med, no cure, just been run its course. Now we stand by as there's the governor vows to crush the virus. We the people continue to crush the government. I love that. Laureen, we all know the $12 is going to even start to pay for the rent, especially when you're behind $12, and even going to get you into a place. Amen. Nancy Pelosi is now saying, I want to send out the stimulus check so you can pay November rent. That's her big pitch. She said that in a few interviews yesterday. Nancy, what the hell are you talking about? Ben-Hur, when Larry the Cable Guy, we really need him. Kurt Correll, election night right around the corner. Pelosi has stalled so long, there's no way Pelosi can agree to anything. Marcia, they need to act like they care about Americans. Narcy Wilson, good morning, LA. It's incredible that at 3 a.m., this whole family's up tweeting and listening to President Purple in the middle of the night. Everyone's here. I'm impressed. Thanks, Purple. Well, I really appreciate it. And it really has been a blockbuster show. I mean, I think the last 2 days we have done 250,000 views between the two videos approximately, which is just categorically incredible. And then you stay with me, of course, for Mornings LALATE at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which has a more comprehensive, more in-depth analysis of the day's events for stimulus. Coming up next is the second half hour of this recording at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stay with me for that. As always, go to the front of the channel, subscribe. It's subscribe because I want you to make sure you don't miss a recording. Hit that alert button so you get alert when a new video goes live. Also, like this video. As always, stay tuned for 6:30 a.m. for the second half of the hour of Early Mornings LALATE.